All right, today we are going to be talking about adding integers with different signs. So I'm going to zoom in on my page so I can see it a little bit bigger. We are going to be using the integer chips just like we used yesterday. So remember, if you need to get to the integer chips, you go to your Northside portal, and in Braining Camp, there is the 2-color counters, and you can change it down here in the bottom right from basic to integer chips. And then you can see that they have positive signs and negative signs on them. Okay, now something important that I want to show you guys today is if I have one positive chip and one negative chip, they actually cancel each other out and they make what we call a zero pair. Okay, so they actually make a zero pair because 1 plus -1 is 0. So think about it this way. If I have $1, I have +1. If I owe you $1, that's -1. So if I have $1 and then I owe you $1, then really I have nothing because I'm going to give you that $1 and it's going to cancel out. Okay, so we have to know that a positive and a negative make a zero pair, just like that. So both of them together. Okay, so positive and a negative together make a zero pair. Okay, and it's equal to 0. So that's really important for us to know when we're doing our notes today. Okay, so we're going to start off just like we did yesterday with the integer chips. So we're going to look at the first question. It says 6 plus -2. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add 6 of these positive integer chips because our first number is +6. So 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then our second number is -2. So that means just below it, we're going to put 2 negatives. So 1 and 2. And if you remember what I just told you with Braining Camp was that a positive and a negative together cancel each other out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a line, and I'm going to draw a line through my positive and my negative. Maybe. Draw a line through my positive and my negative. Now I'm going to make this line a little bit bigger and fatter so we can see it. Okay, so we have one line through that because those cancel each other out because it's one positive and one negative. Okay, I'm going to copy my line and I'm going to paste my line and I'm going to put it right on this one because again, a positive and a negative cancel each other out. And when I look at what I have left right here, okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 chips that are left and they are all positive chips. So that means my answer is +4. So 6 plus -2 is +4. Okay. So when we look at the next one, we have -9. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a lot. 8 and 9. And then our second number says plus +7. So right below that, I'm going to put 7 positives. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so just like before, we're going to add a line and we're going to say a positive and a negative cancel each other out. I'm going to add another line, a positive and a negative, cancel each other out. Uh-oh, that line didn't go where I wanted it to. Okay, we're going to keep canceling out our positives and our negatives. That line went all crazy. Okay, positive and a negative, cancel each other out. My lines are going all kinds of crazy. I'm just going to paste some lines here. Okay, positive and a negative, cancel each other out. Positive and a negative cancel each other out. And positive and a negative cancel each other out. So once I cancel out all my positive and my negatives, I find those zero pairs, then I figure out that what I have left over is 2 of them that are negative. So my answer is going to be -2. Okay, -2. Then we're going to do our last question here. So our last question, it says +8 plus -8. So we're going to do 8 positive chips 8. And then we're going to do 8 negative chips. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then we're going to do the same thing where we make our 0 pairs. So we're going to put a line through our first pair, a line through our second pair, a line through our third pair, a line through our fourth pair. That pair is a little crooked, but that's okay. A line through our fifth pair. We're going to keep going until there's no more pairs. So if we notice, we were able to make a pair with every one of those lines. So this means that there was nothing left over, and nothing is equal to 0. So positive 8 plus negative 8 is going to equal 0. Okay? Now, over here, we're going to use the number line to model each of the sums. So just like yesterday when we had our arrows, and you can click at the top up here, and you can select an arrow. Yet just like yesterday, we're going to start at 0. And our first number is positive 5. So we're going to draw an arrow from 0 to positive 5. Okay? And our second number says negative 2. Okay, so if we remember yesterday, I'm going to add a text box over here. Yesterday we said negative is to the right, or to the left, sorry, left. Positive is to the right, because that's where our positive numbers are. So if negative is to the left, then that means I'm going to start at 5 with my arrow, and I'm going to go to the left 2 spaces. So 1, 2, 2 jumps. And where I end up, where my arrow ends up, is my answer. So my answer is 3, because that's where my arrow ended up. Okay, so we're going to try this again. So we have 6, so we're going to add an arrow. We're going to go from 0 to 6. Okay, then we have plus negative 9. So if you look over here, negative says to the left. So we're going to make our arrow. We're going to start at 6 because that's where our arrow left off, and we're going to go 9 spaces to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way down here. And our arrow ended up at what number? Our arrow ended up at negative 3. So that's my answer, is negative 3. Okay. So if we notice in all of these, whatever the bigger number is, tells us if our answer is positive or negative. Okay, so if you look, our bigger number was 5 in number 4, so our answer was positive. In this next one, our greater number was the number 9, so our answer was negative. Okay, so in this next one, if we look at our numbers, the bigger number is 5, so that means my answer should be positive. So we're going to check it out. Okay, so we're going to make our arrow. We're going to start at 0, and this time we're going to go to negative 4 because that's my first number. So we're going to go from 0 to negative 4. Okay, then our second number says that it is plus positive 5. So positive is to the right is what we said. So we're going to go from 4, we're going to go 5 spaces to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, my arrow's going crazy. 5. My arrow's going crazy. Okay, so 5 spaces to the right. When we get there, we end up at the number 1. Okay, so now we're going to try and create a rule for adding integers with different signs. So the rule we can say is find the difference of the absolute value. The difference means you're kind of subtracting the absolute value of each number of the numbers and keep the sign of the number with the greater absolute value. And remember, when you guys are doing your assignment for today, you guys can go back to your portal and you guys can use this braining camp and you can put all the pieces on there and you can match them up and put them right below each other. Okay? And then you can make your pairs that way and zero them out to help you guys. Okay? Or you can write it on a piece of paper. All right? Have a good day, guys.